If cravings are your downfall, you're gonna wanna stick around for this. Since switching to a low carb, high protein diet, I've noticed that my sweet cravings aren't as intense. But let's be honest, I mean, sometimes you just still want something sweet. So today I'm sharing a few easy, high protein, low carb desserts that barely take any effort to make. They only use a handful of ingredients and they're low calorie too. These are all recipes that have been blowing up on TikTok and Instagram, some of them with thousands of views. And I'm gonna test them out to see if they're actually worth making. So let's find out which ones actually live up to the hype. First, let's make a strawberry cheesecake that has only 200 calories, but has 26 grams of protein and only 6 carbs. But here's the kicker. We're not actually using cream cheese. So technically it's not a cheesecake, but it looks similar and actually tastes pretty similar to one. Instead of cream cheese, I'm using plain Greek yogurt. I know, it's blasphemy, but something magical happens when you bake it. You'll see. Add 2/3 cup of plain Greek yogurt to a small bowl. This is gonna provide 13 grams of protein to our dish. Then to sweeten it up, 1 tablespoon of your favorite sugar-free sweetener that measures cup for cup with sugar. Then a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And to add more protein, add a 1/2 scoop of plain or vanilla flavored protein powder. The protein powder that I like to use is by Isopure. It's a 0 carb protein powder. It's a 100% whey isolate protein powder and it bakes up beautifully in recipes. Plus, like I mentioned, it's 0 carbs, like the name says. Once that's smooth, transfer it to an oven-safe ramekin and then top it with berries. I'm using diced strawberries, but you could use raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. And then we bake this. I'm air frying mine, but you could use the oven too. This will bake at 300 degrees for around 15 minutes. The oven might take a little bit longer, probably like 20 minutes, and you can even crank up your oven temperature to like maybe 325 degrees. You want to bake it until it's golden brown and then the center is set. Once you remove it and let it cool for a bit, it's like digging into a cheesecake. It's pretty decent for being a low calorie, high protein cheesecake-like dessert. And I like to add a little bit of whipped cream. To be honest, it has a texture like you're biting into curdled milk. I know that's not a very good image. It just has this like kind of squeaky texture, but I actually like it and I don't mind it. I think that's why it reminds me of cheesecake. Next up is this easy banana pudding that requires, well, let's just say 2 ingredients, but I like to add a 3rd one. But this pudding is only 297 calories. Actually, it's 177 if you don't add the 3rd ingredient. It's 19 grams of protein and has only 7 carbs. And we don't have to use eggs in this recipe, so you don't have to worry about thickening with them or tempering them. Instead, I'm using Greek yogurt as my base, 3/4 cup of plain Greek yogurt. Now for the banana flavor, I use sugar-free banana pudding. And I know this brand is not the cleanest, so if you feel that way, you should check out the brand Simply Delish. They make a clean sugar-free line of gelatin and puddings. I usually use them, but it wasn't gonna get here in time when I was filming this video, so I had to go with this brand instead. After you stir in those 2 teaspoons in there, your pudding is ready. Look at how thick this is. It's like it's pudding without using the eggs. Combining the base of the Greek yogurt to give it that thick pudding texture gives the banana pudding us this protein-rich, low-carb, low-calorie pudding. But like I mentioned, I like to add in a 3rd ingredient, and that 3rd ingredient is vanilla wafers. But these are low-carb, gluten-free vanilla wafers from High Key Cookies. 7 cookies has only 1 net carb. Once you crush those and put those on top, now this is banana pudding that I love. But if you really like banana pudding and you really don't want to go this route with using the pudding mix and the yogurt, you should check out my sugar-free banana pudding recipe that I have on my website. Just Google KetoFocus banana pudding or scan this QR code right here. Speaking of sweet things that actually does your body good, this video is sponsored by Element Electrolytes. If you've been around a while, you know that I take my hydration seriously, especially while low carb, fasting, or just driving my kids around in the summer heat. Element is a sugar-free electrolyte drink mix that helps fight off fatigue, headaches, brain fog, and that sluggish feeling that just creeps around when all of your electrolytes are out of whack. And they just dropped a limited time new flavor, lemonade salt. It's my favorite flavor thus far. You guys have to try this one. It's tart, sweet, and totally refreshing. You can mix it with water or toss it in your iced tea for a salty Arnold Palmer, or even shake it up with some fresh fruit for a refreshing summertime drink. But just like summer, this flavor is here for a good time and not a long time, so grab it while you can. I'll drop the link in the description box to make sure you get it before it's gone. Go to drinkelement.com/ketofocus to get yours. And if you order today, they'll throw in a free sample pack with a bunch of their flavors so you can just see which ones you like. Again, go to drinkelement.com/ketofocus to get your lemonade. Do you ever just crave chocolate, like a truffle? I know I do. Well, these chocolate protein balls taste like a brownie, but they only have 40 calories each, 9 grams of protein, and only 0.4 net carbs. Plus, you only need 3 ingredients and they're ready in minutes. I'm sticking to the brand that I trust, Isopure. Add in 2 scoops protein powder. And since that's not enough chocolate flavor to me, I like to add an additional 2.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. Mix that all together. And once it's combined, you need to add a liquid. Now, the TikTok recipe that I used as my guide for this used maple syrup, but I don't want to do that because I'm trying to be low carb, low calorie, low sugar. So instead, I add some of this keto simple syrup from Wholesome Yum. This is a liquid monk fruit and allulose blend. And you just want to add enough so that you can easily form a dough ball with this, like rolling it out in between your hands. For this simple syrup, since it's so liquidy, I only needed to add 1/3 of a cup, but if you were using maple syrup, you might need to add 1/2 cup, since maple syrup is more viscous. Once your dough is mixed, roll it out in between the palms of your hands to form 6 balls. And yes, your hands are gonna look like this when you're done, but luckily it washes off easily or it licks off easily. Place your balls on a parchment-lined tray. Now this step is optional, but I like to melt a few tablespoons of sugar-free chocolate chips and then just drizzle that on top. Or you could actually dip the whole chocolate ball into the melted chocolate. I think that would be delicious too. Then to help them harden and to get that chocolate to set, I actually put mine in the freezer for around 30 to 60 minutes. But these turned out so good and legit taste like a brownie. But I found a different low-calorie chocolate recipe that takes the cake, and I'm gonna share it with you in just a minute after we make a quick and easy low-calorie caramel apple pie. Okay, this isn't exactly a pie. It's more like a pudding, but it tastes like caramel apple pie, and I don't even miss the crust. For this pudding, we're using plain Greek yogurt as a base again, 3/4 of a cup, and this time we're using sugar-free butterscotch pudding. Luckily, I did have the Simply Delish brand here for butterscotch pudding. I add in 1 teaspoon of this pudding mix, stir that together until it's combined, and then you set it aside, and I'm gonna need to dice up some apple. Now I know the keto police are already coming at me in the comments. Go ahead. I know that you think apple has too many carbs and sugars to be declared keto, but we're only using 1/8 of an apple in this recipe, so it's only adding in 2.4 carbs. And it's apple, it's a natural food. I think you're gonna survive any sort of minuscule sugar spike that you might get from 1/8 of an apple. After adding in my apple, I like to do one extra step, and that's to drizzle this with about a teaspoon of sugar-free caramel sauce. You could skip this part, but I think it's worth it. And with that, you have a dessert that's 189 calories, 15 grams of protein, and 9 carbs. This one is one of my faves, but if you're more of a chocolate person, this protein lava cake is for you. This is the recipe I was talking about that I love. For this recipe, you're gonna need to blend some cottage cheese. We all love cottage cheese. It's having a moment here in the high protein, low carb community. And if you want some delicious quick meals that you can make with cottage cheese, scan this right here for a bonus recipe. Once that cottage cheese is blended, you need to scoop out 1/3 cup of it. Then add 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of your favorite sugar-free sweetener that measures cup for cup with sugar, a scoop of chocolate protein powder, 3.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, and a pinch of salt. Blend that together and you're gonna have this brownie batter-like texture. This will get scooped into a greased ramekin. My ramekin is about 6 ounces. But an 8-ounce one will work as well. Once all that's in there, spread it out evenly, and then I like to top it with some sugar-free chocolate chips. And then this gets microwaved because it is one of those really quick 1 minute, actually it's 90 seconds takes to bake, but 90-second lava cakes. And you'll see when it comes out, it is set on top, but it is gooey and yummy inside. It's so divine and it's excellent topped with whipped cream. And of course, this is something that you want to eat right away. This isn't really something that you can meal prep because well, it's not going to stay lava cake for long. But also if you bake a lot with protein powders or anything high protein cake-like, you know that they dry out readily. But this is a definite favorite and something that I've made over and over again. This cake has 300 calories, which is loads less calorie than the sugar and fat-filled other lava cakes that you can make. But it also has 45 grams of protein and 6 carbs. So it's like a meal. I mean, you could eat this lava cake for breakfast. I give you permission. If you want more of these high protein, low carb, low calorie desserts, you need to buy my high protein cookbook. It's called Protein Packed, and it's filled with amazing dessert recipes, but also breakfast and family friendly meals that you can make for lunch and dinner, all with high protein and low carb in mind. Because as we get older, it's important that you continue to eat lots of protein just to maintain your muscle mass so that you can live longer and be mobile throughout your years. And I cover all the science behind high protein in this cookbook. Scan this QR code to pre-order now so that it automatically ships to you in the fall when it's released. Until then, click here to get more high protein desserts that you're gonna love.